Okay, it is Wednesday, June the 3rd, 2026. It's 10:43 a.m. And I guess we continue another conversation. Welcome to Conversations at a Bench at a Park. I'm in this park. So weird because I had no plans on doing a video today. I just came back from volunteering somewhere, and my plan was to go to the library and work on my books that God has been placing on my heart to write. And so I was walking down and I realized, wait, where am I? I could not get bearings to where I was. And I realized, oh wait, I'm on a totally different road. And I've never been down this way before. And so I said, okay, Lord, just show me. Why are you leading me along this path? And as I walked, I saw this park. And the funny thing is the name of this park is the same name as my old address in the States. And then I just knew instantly, the Lord just changed my plans. Instead of going somewhere that I was planning to go, He wanted me to come to the park and do more videos. So here we go. And I feel like that's prophetic. Let me take a moment to just speak prophetically. I think that's what God is doing with a lot of us right now. And if you're watching this, that's what God is doing in your life, I believe. He is taking so many of us, His children, down paths we do not know, we do not recognize. And I believe it says it in Isaiah, I think Isaiah 43, that He's going to create ways in the wilderness and rivers in the desert. And so just trust the unknown, trust the journey. Because God knows exactly what He's doing, and He knows exactly where He's taking you. And because He's a God of love, He's a God that loves you so much and that wants the best for you, trust that this path that He's taking you on, that's so unknown, so unfamiliar, so scary, is leading to good. I just wanted to bring that up. And so let's continue. Welcome to my journey. I'm Helen, and all of a sudden the Lord just wanted me to share my testimony. And this is how God is leading me to my kingdom husband and marriage, and the lessons I am learning along this journey. Lots of lessons. And so the last video I left off on what I speak about. Red flags and signs. And I was saying how God always gives us signs. He always gives us red flags when we're in relationships that He does not want us to be in. But it is up to us to open our eyes, open our ears, open our hearts to see, to hear, to sense what God is showing us. And then we need to just ask God for the strength and the boldness to leave certain relationships that are not good for us, which is a really hard thing to do. And so I spoke about the red flags that I saw in my relationship in the United States that caused me to leave the relationship and also to leave the United States. And so we left off where I was now in New York, and I was crossing over to Canada. So here I am thinking, this is it. Goodbye, America. Hello, Canada. Let's see what Canada has to hold. Never thought I'd come to Canada. Never intended to come to Canada. But God, He knows why I'm here. I'm still trying to figure that out, by the way. And so I had texted my boyfriend, let him know I'm in New York and I'm crossing over. I did not look at my phone that night because I didn't want to deal with any response. So woke up in the morning, had my breakfast, called a taxi that would take me to the border. And so I went, crossed over, blah, 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 blah. And so now I was settling in Canada. And God is just so He's so good. He has just shown me so much favor in my life. I can't even deny that He exists. If I had to deny that God exists, then there's something wrong with me, because He has shown me so much favor. Ever since I stepped into Canada, no matter how hard situations have been, I've never lacked, never slept outside. I've always been provided for. And I've always found favor with God and with man. And so at this time, those who know, so let me speak to my fellow immigrants. You know, usually when you cross over, you live in a shelter for a little bit and then you move on. So that was the case with me. I was in a shelter for about 2 weeks or so, 2 or 3 weeks. And then, you know, God blessed me with finding an Airbnb somewhere a little outside Montreal called Brossard. And the lady who was Chinese, she was so nice. She really liked me, and she allowed me to stay there for a year on the same amount of rent, and it was just a blessing. And so now I thought, okay, goodbye to my ex, goodbye to my old life. But then my ex was texting me, you know, we're kind of going back and forth, and then he said that he wanted to come visit me in Canada. And I'm like, oh my gosh, what do I do? Part of me wanted him to come so we could speak and just have closure. Part of me was like, I just escaped that. Do I really want to open up old wounds, should I say? But I agreed. And so he came, and I remember, so he had booked a hotel. So I remember now going to the hotel and just like, oh man, how's this gonna go? Just mixed feelings. And when I saw him in the hotel, I think in the lobby, he came down. The first thing he said, and I'll never forget this because it hit me hard. And it's something I want to talk about probably in the next video. So I'm here trying to see, okay, how do I handle this? You know, too many emotions going on. So I'm smiling like, hey. He said to me, you abandoned me. And he didn't hug me. I was like, whoa. Wow. Like it hit me hard. And so we went up to the room, and he was like, you abandoned me. You just left me. And in that moment, like, you know, it's so funny because this whole time, with this whole journey of escape, I was thinking of me. I was thinking of Helen, what's good for Helen. I hadn't really thought about him, and I honestly hadn't really thought too much about how this impacted him because I was focused on myself. And that's what I want to discuss next. As now speaking to women, like I said, this is for both women and men, but I feel like I'm being drawn to speak to women about my testimony. Looking back now, I realize, wow, sometimes when as a woman you're leaving a bad situation or a relationship that's not for you, we tend to forget that it's not just us that are being impacted, but even the guy is impacted. Even the guy is impacted in ways that we don't even know. And so when he said, you abandoned me, that's such a strong word, abandoned. And it's like, wow. And so I want to discuss that. I want to discuss the impact that split relationships have on the man, on the person we are leaving. Because it's deeper than we think. It's not just a breakup. It's not just a splitting, going our separate ways. We leave impacts. And sometimes these can be long-lasting and not good. They can be negative. So let's speak about that in the next video. The impacts of splitting up.